Have you ever wondered why animals such as cats, axolotls, parrots, and horses have different breeds in Minecraft? To answer that question, we must learn about the processes of meiosis. Before we get started with all the interesting stages of meiosis, we have to learn about what must happen before proceeding. Cells undergo an important stage called interphase. Cells typically spend over 90% of their time in interphase to fully develop and replicate genetic material. First, we begin with G1. This is where the cell grows in size and replicates its proteins and organelles to function normally. Think of this stage like growing crops on a farm, such as wheat, which would require resources like water and light before being harvested. If a crop isn't ready to be harvested because of lack of resources, they would produce minimal yield, and we don't want that. So we selectively leave that crop to fully develop. This is similar to a cell being sent to the G0 phase to grow and repair itself if it is not yet prepared for cell division. Afterwards, the cells would go into the S stage where they replicate their DNA. This process is kind of like making all the necessary ingredients to bake a cake, similar to getting sugarcane to make sugar and getting milk from a cow. These are the ingredients necessary to make a Minecraft cake. Finally, in the G2 phase, the cells start preparing to divide. This process is like making sure you have everything checked off of your checklist before actually baking a cake. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to craft the cake and would be forced to go back to searching for the required ingredients. After the cell completes interphase, the diploid cell undergoes cellular division, particularly meiosis I first. For the purposes of this video, imagine a diploid cell as a group of 4 villagers, and each villager would represent a duplicated chromosome. In prophase I, chromosomes would form homologous pairs to form tetrads. During this arrangement, the chromosomes would exchange their alleles which contain genetic information. This process is called crossing over, similar to how villagers would trade their belongings in exchange for different goods, even if they're scams. After the homologous pairs find each other, they line up at the center of the cell in metaphase I and attach to spindle fibers to get ready to split. This is like when pairs of villagers line up in mine carts on 2 different rails, ready to go their separate ways. In anaphase I, the homologous chromosomes are pulled apart by spindle fibers and split up evenly to 2 cells, creating 2 haploid cells, similar to the pairs of villagers splitting up to go to 2 separate destinations. After the homologous chromosomes are separated, we successfully move to telophase I. In telophase I, the chromosomes are now enclosed in 2 different nuclei and undergo cytokinesis to separate their cytoplasms, just like in this clip where the villagers relocate to 2 different cells. We have successfully completed meiosis I and now move on to meiosis II. For the purposes of this video, we cannot use villagers in the next example. Meiosis II starts with prophase II, where haploid cells condense chromatin to chromosomes to prepare for another round of cell division. This is similar to entering a nether or end portal, which sends you to another dimension prepared for new challenges. Once again in metaphase II, spindle fibers form once again to separate the sister chromatids. The sister chromatids are lined up at the center of the cell to prepare for division. This is similar to how you would make sure you have collected enough valuable materials before crafting tools. Then, in anaphase II, the sister chromatids would be pulled apart, separating single chromatids to the opposite poles of the cell, just like the way you would divide a stack of materials into different inventories. Afterwards, in telophase II, the nucleus is formed on each set of chromosomes, and the cytoplasm split once again in cytokinesis, forming 4 new daughter cells. This process could be represented by using one type of materials to craft blocks and tools that serve different purposes. This demonstration of meiosis illustrates how genetic variation occurs in gamete cells. Hence why different animals in Minecraft have different breeds because of processes like crossing over of genetic material and independent assortment. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and learned about the stages of meiosis. Thank you for watching and see you next time.